When I first played Total Miner, I was 12 years old. I was young and very invested into the world of Total Miner. At the time, I had only the demo. I started up my first world, and I was so happy to be in it from the very beginning. I had explored the surface a little bit to get a feel for things, learned how to open the inventory, and learn how to craft, although it was still confusing for a little while. I hadn't played Minecraft before. I had only played things like Fortress Craft, Castle Miner, and Castle Miner Z, all the indie games, and Total Miner was the best. I had stumbled upon a cave, and before I knew it, I was already addicted to this game. I loved the aspect of going mining deep underground and exploring dark caverns. It was dreamlike for me, even though everything was made of blocks. I had eventually found a world chest. I knew it had loot in it, purely by instinct. And what do you know? I was right. But I had no clue I was right until much later, because as soon as I got close, I heard the most terrifying noise I had ever heard before. I didn't know it, but it was a spider. I quit the game. No, really, I did. I can't remember if I quit from the game menu or dashboarded, but as soon as I heard that scream, I quit. Now, like I said, I was already addicted to this game. I had to go back. I started the world back up, and as soon as I got back in, I heard the scream again, and I quit again. It was terrifying. I eventually went back and found the spider egg. And that was even more terrifying, because every time you hit it, it screamed too. I don't even remember if there was an actual spider there or not. I was too scared, and I hardly remember the loot I got either. All I knew was I was going to stay on the surface a little while, and while I was there, I built a house, and from there, I started my journey. When Total Miner was in its prime, I played hundreds of hours, loving each and every moment of it. It was a good time to be a 12-year-old. I felt like the wisdom scrolls meant something far greater than they seemed. I knew the scrolls and blueprints alike were placed there by someone far wiser than I. They were there to guide me, and I followed the path, treading where my presumed ancestors had given me the tools to do so. Along with the guidance from my ancestors, I had gathered friends that were there to help me tread the path necessary to achieve the knowledge thereof. And so, with the home built, I and many others were ready to take on the terrifying enemies of the dark caverns. And so we did. Total Miner meant so much to me. The experience was like no other, and the bonds that I had built were unbreakable. Total Miner to me was never just a game. It was a masterpiece. An experience that no game or person could ever replicate. I still miss those days. The days when you go into a cave and hear dark, menacing music, as if you're being watched. The days where it was all about reaching the very bottom of the world, and if you had never done that before, you simply weren't as cool as me and my friends. Now, in 2020, what has happened to the game we once loved and played for hundreds of hours? Well, it's still here, but it had a rocky launch on Steam, and even getting to Steam in the first place was difficult. When the Xbox 360 was no longer relevant, so too was the fate of Total Miner. And when it did get to Steam, it was a bit more expensive. Not a problem, I'll pay extra to play on my super beefy PC. Wait, what does that mean? Bedrock? Craig had stopped development of Total Miner. He had thrown in the towel. He clocked out permanently. He stopped writing really weird wisdom scrolls. Craig, we miss you. I miss you. And for some reason in the script, I put in people wanted refunds even, which is true, by the way. People did want refunds at some point. But all was not lost, for a couple of people had come in from somewhere, don't really know, and they made the announcement. Total Miner development has resumed. Do you know what this means? It'll be great again. It'll have the community revived. Well, it should have been that way. Doesn't seem to be revived per se, but there are a good amount of people that are still hanging around waiting for the next update, which will have multiplayer, by the way. It's been months. We haven't heard much since around April, waiting in complete and utter silence. I hope to see more soon, as it seems not much is happening on the surface. However, there are some things that we can take a look at and hopefully get moving in the future. Some small, some large. Obviously, multiplayer comes first, that's one of the big ones, and who doesn't like playing with their friends? Once multiplayer comes out though, we have some things to do. First, listen, I know this isn't top priority to a lot of people, but I loved the feel of Total Miner Dig Deep mode back in the day. There are subtle but odd things that have been changed since 1.7 that still irk me to this day. I know it's all about creative mode nowadays and scripting or what have you, but Dig Deep needs some tuning as well. I know some, if not all of these, have been addressed in a bug comment section or something like that, but this is YouTube, alright? Way more entertaining. First of all, blueprints are still broken. You can mine one, and the next time you start up your world, it's there again, but this time it's gold pieces. It looks like it was added to the patch notes of whatever update, can't remember, but it says it's fixed. It's not. Also, weirdly enough, and it seems I am the one and only person to have noticed this, along with two of my friends, and only because I told them about it, but I've never heard anyone bring it up. When you're right next to a block and you jump, it's fine. But hear me out. When you are right next to a block and you're running towards it, and then you jump, it makes you lag. Like, you don't rubber band or anything, but it's not smooth like it used to be. This was introduced in 1.8, and it truly made parkouring through caves much more tiresome. I don't like doing it nearly as much as I used to. It's super choppy, it's not smooth. Also, locational tracks. This is a big one for me and many others. Say you're mining in the dark, and there looks to be loot on the other side of the cave, but you can't tell if there's spiders over there or not. And this track starts playing. That's what used to happen, but now it does this. And one other thing about the music, please put Cryptic Sorrow back into the game. I swear I haven't heard this track in ages, and I'm convinced it's because it's a whopping 8 minutes long, but please add the same amount of the track that you had before 1.8 and I'd be happy. Just the first minute, or just whatever was used before. Of course, that's not all, but one thing people will never forget is the crazy creativity brought to the community as a whole through map creation. So many maps were created, and challenge maps were especially fantastic. I made my own, and although I don't have footage of it, Jeff McNewman had seen it and placed robotic, and that was awesome. Not because I had that wax skin in my world, but because I had received a massive compliment from someone that was known for challenge maps. Anyways, meant a lot, Jeff. Hope you're still out there somewhere. Fortunately, he was cool, but there was a little bit of toxicity I encountered every now and then, of course. Everyone always does when creating something, anything really. But the challenge map creation and hosting was great, and Craig only added to it through time, giving us more tools to create whatever we could think of in any way possible. Craig, I gotta hand it to you. You made such a great game. I can't believe how many memories I've had on this game. I mean, it's insane the amount of good times I've had, and it was all because you decided to make an awesome game. So a personal thank you goes out to Craig and all his hard work. You did an amazing job, my friend. I love Total Miner. It's an impressive game for the circumstances it had, and I am and always will be a fan of this game. Unfortunately, it's hard to stay excited for the next update when developer feedback is minimal. I know I'm not a game dev, but 4 months, that sucks. I would love to see more developer feedback, as the current state of the game is really hard to get a grasp on. When we see updates, no matter how little, it proves to the community that you care. Not to say that the devs don't, but we truly would love to see more updates. And let me specify, I'm just talking about updates in regards to how the actual game updates are going. So, hey, how's the multiplayer going? Hey, how's this new block or whatever that you're adding going? That type of thing. I'm not referring to actual in-game updates with new content. I know that's very unreasonable for the circumstances we have right now, so I'm only talking about updates in regards to what's actually happening behind the scenes. A monthly update, perhaps, something to hold on to, because right now we've been waiting on multiplayer for over 8 months since the new devs took over. It's already been modded in months back, even before the new devs were here. I know it's buggy, but it's still modded in fairly quickly. And it's odd how someone modded it in, but somehow we haven't seen it official in-game for so long. Again, I'm no game dev, but using pure common sense, it just looks weird. It simply looks weird. And it doesn't look like the game is going anywhere. I know there were times that Craig had us wait an extended period of time as well, though, so I haven't lost hope, but totalminer really does need to come back with a bang. Totalminer can be massively successful, and we can only hope from here that it becomes something bigger. If not, at least keep the community we have now and pull a bit of the OGs back. I'd say my biggest request is we bring some attention to Dig Deep to make it a fully functional mode again. I've been waiting for it to be fully functional for a while, and that's where I have the most fun personally. I know a lot of people are into creative and building maps, and like I said earlier, I'm into that too, but Dig Deep is a bit more fun for me. As far as the rest of the game goes, and its status, we can hope. So much potential is lying beneath what is this game's code, and all that can happen from here is greatness. Check out the Discord linked in the description, my friends, and I'll see you all soon.